All right, obviously, you're well aware I was not at Saints practice today. I'm here doing a radio show, and we'll certainly talk to Luke tomorrow about what he saw out there the first 2 days, because he'll have seen camp tomorrow as well. But I have been able to glean a lot from Twitter, where there's a lot of video and a lot of information on the old Twitter feed. And then Ross Jackson has an incredibly detailed practice report up at louisianasports.net. That's awesome. You can go by play. You can get Ross's impressions, the results, some statistics. It's all there for free. You don't have to get behind a paywall or subscribe or do a free trial, deal with pop-up ads. If you're looking for Saints content, you can find it at louisianasports.net for free. Clearly, all eyes today, tractor beam right on quarterback, right? That's the story. It's the first-year head coach in Kellen Moore. It's the highest draft pick in 50 years in Tyler Shough. It's a guy in Spencer Rattler who took the reins for a portion of last year. And it's time to go. It's time to compete. And I think everybody that I've talked to and most people that are evaluating the situation feel like that Shough is the best bet because he's the guy that this staff drafted. They did not draft Spencer Rattler last year. That was, of course, the Dennis Allen regime. So who would take the first reps today? Who's going to get that first leg up in the quarterback competition? Well, today there were 17 first-team snaps. Spencer Rattler got all 17. There were 15 second-team snaps. Tyler Shough got all 15. There were 10 third-team snaps. Jake Haener got all 10. Now, you're going to go, whoa, Shough didn't even get a single rep with the first team? Kind of a statement, huh? No, not really. Kellen Moore came to the microphone, did not play coy, did not try to hide from it, did not deflect or give a coach speak answer. So, no, we gave Rattler the reps today because it's seniority. Now, as Ross points out in his story on louisianasports.net, like, Jake Haener has more seniority than both of them when it comes to NFL service time. But I don't think he's really in this battle. This is a Tyler Shough, Spencer Rattler battle. They got a long training camp ahead. You got one guy who's been in the league a little bit longer. He gets the nod today. Tomorrow, you would expect Tyler Shough to get significant action behind the first-team offensive line with the first-team weapons. You look at the statistics that Ross has published on louisianasports.net, and it was a really, really solid day from Spencer Rattler with the football. 9 of 9 with the first team. Did a great job of operating the offense. A lot of it was in the intermediate game. Shough was 2 of 6 with a couple of sacks. And it's very clearly written by Ross on louisianasports.net that, like, hey, these statistics are pretty skewed here. Rattler, perfect 9 for 9. Shough, 2 for 6, couple of sacks. Like, that's a big disparity. But Rattler had the first-team offensive line and had all day to throw at times. Shough was behind the second-team offensive line and had no time and was running for his life. And that's where the sacks come in, and that's where the incompletions come in, and that's where the inconsistencies come in. You're working with the second team. Now, we'll see if you flip this tomorrow and Shough is 3 for 9 behind the first team and Rattler is 6 out of 7 with 2 touchdowns behind the second team. Well, that's a pretty big step in the right direction for Spencer Rattler. If these stats just flip on their heads and Shough's great with the first team and Rattler's not so good with the second team, well, you kind of have your idea of what's going on. It's just a tougher deal to play behind the second team. Always is. Kicker is an interesting battle that we're not talking about a ton in the offseason, but I think will get some play in training camp. Blake Grupe is the incumbent, obviously. He nailed all 5 of his 5 kicks. An extra point, 38 yards, 41 yards, 47 yards, 49 yards. He was money. Mathieu Hayball comes up. Sorry, that was in the punting competition. Mathieu Hayball comes up where he's competing with James Burnham. And the Aussie was really good, apparently, getting the ball well up in the air. The thought is that Charlie Smith has a chance to unseat Blake Grupe at the kicking spot, but there will be a competition. Grupe can't keep up from a leg strength perspective. He can keep up with his accuracy, and he was great today in that spot. Safety is a big deal for this New Orleans Saints team now that Tyrann Mathieu is moving on. You're looking at Justin Reed, who they just signed to a free agent deal. He was out there today. Jordan Howden was out there with him in the secondary. The second team included Jonas Sanker, Terrell Burgess, J.T. Gray, and Elliott Davidson were out there with the third team. So this is Howden's shot. Like, this kind of came out of nowhere. Didn't know that Tyrann was going to hang it up. Who knows when the Saints were made aware of it? We certainly weren't as of yesterday at this point. And then all of a sudden, you've got an empty spot in the secondary. Can Jordan Howden go out there and win it? Or does Jonas Sanker come and potentially steal that spot? That's going to be something to watch in all of camp. Howden's not a guy I'm trying to kick out the door. Howden is young. He is cheap. He's shown some flashes at times, mostly on special teams. But if he can prove that he's got a chance to be a really good player, then I'd want to give him more looks. And the truth be told, he probably wasn't going to get a ton of looks with Tyrann out there. Tyrann was going to be the starter if healthy. Tyrann's been pretty healthy. So this, while it's disappointing to us as Louisiana sports fans, as LSU fans, as Saint fans, to see Tyrann step away because you've got a sentimental attachment to him, as I've always talked about, like, Tyrann was not going to be on the next great Saints team. Neither is Cam Jordan. Neither is Demario Davis. Kamara may not be. Ramczyk certainly isn't. Like, there's a generation there that's going to phase out, and Tyrann is part of that generation. Now he's out, and as big a bummer as that is, it's opportunity for younger players. It's opportunity for guys they've drafted later in rounds that have been in the league for 1-2 years that can now make their claim to a safety spot that wasn't otherwise open after Justin Reed was signed. So I'm curious to watch how that plays out, and it'll be something absolutely to look at. Another thing that Ross notes beyond Kamara, two backs saw a majority of the first-team reps, rookie Devin Neal and veteran Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Neal also saw snaps with the second team, along with Kendre Miller, and then Cam Akers worked along multiple units. Interesting that Devin Neal was getting some first-team reps, and Kendre Miller was not. That's surprising to me. Now, we talked a lot about how much we like Devin Neal immediately after the draft process in the spring. And certainly there's a lot of reasons. When you're the leading rusher in any college football program's history, you're doing something right. And Devin Neal is that for Kansas. But Kendre Miller, we thought, had kind of emerged out of the shadows of the Dennis Allen era and was going to be able to maybe take a step forward this year. And you certainly don't rule that out after a 90-minute practice, but it is interesting that they put the rookie out there in Devin Neal and not Kendre Miller in his third year, who was a pretty high draft choice. Interesting, I might add. So lots and lots of notes and nuggets from Saints training camp today. Ross Jackson has got you covered there over on LouisianaSports.net. We've got you covered at Hunt on LSU, and then, of course, Hunt on Saints for all of your Saints content. We'll talk to Luke tomorrow. We'll get a handle on what's going on out there in Metairie, but I wanted to give those guys a chance to go in, watch practice, get their practice reports done, do their press conference, their interviews, and then tomorrow we'll bother Luke, and then certainly we'll talk to somebody else who's out there coming up on Friday. Lots of Saints coverage as the Black and Gold are out there on the practice field for training camp here on July the 23rd in Metairie. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.